Hello children, welcome you all to the second part of the chapter soil. So let's continue. In the previous part, we have learned about the different layers of soil. In this part, we will deal with them in detail. The first layer is called as the topsoil or a horizon. The topmost layer of the soil is called a horizon. Some characteristics of topsoil are given as follows. So here the first characteristic is topsoil is rich in humus. I hope you all can recall what is humus. So humus is the dead remain of plants and animal, or you can call it as the organic matter in soil. So you all can conclude that this topsoil contain humus. The second point, it is rich in minerals needed by plants for their growth. The third point, it is soft. So as you compare the other layers, this is the softest layer. Next point, topsoil is porous. That is, it contains pores which are filled with air. It is darker than other layers. Next point, it can retain, that is hold, more water. So as compared to the other layers, it has more water holding capacity. A horizon is the home of many living organisms like insects and worms. The root of the plants grow in this layer of soil. Children, try to correlate all the points with this diagram. Topsoil. It is rich in humus. Can you see? After dying, all these plants and the small insects will get buried in this layer and form humus. It is porous, it is dark, it is soft, and it can retain more water. And it is also the home of many insects and worms. Let's understand the second layer, the subsoil or B horizon. Can you see the subsoil here? Yes. B horizon lies just below the topsoil. It has very small population of living organisms and is less fertile as compared to A horizon. Some characteristics of subsoil are mentioned as follows. So the first characteristic is it contains comparatively less amount of humus. So when we compare the amount of humus in topsoil and subsoil, it is greater in topsoil. Second, it is rich in minerals. Children, note here, even though the amount of humus is more in topsoil, still the subsoil is rich in minerals. The third characteristic, it is generally harder and more compact than topsoil. So, the topsoil is more porous and the subsoil is more compact and harder. It is lighter in color because of the presence of less amount of humus. We can conclude that the humus give color, the darker color to topsoil, and as amount of humus is less in subsoil, it is lighter in color. Now children, let's read about C horizon. This layer of soil lies just below the B horizon, as you can see here. It is also called as parent rock. It is made up of small lumps of rocks. These rocks have cracks in them formed due to weathering of bedrock. So see, due to weathering, these rocks get cracked. And what do you mean by weathering is the breaking down of rocks into small particles by the action of water and wind. So due to the action of water and wind, the big rocks here in this area cracks and form parent rock. The last layer is bedrock. See, this is bedrock. Bedrock is hard and solid rock. So we can say it is the hardest layer. This rock produces soil over a long period of time. So due to the action of water and wind, the rocks in the bedrock will get cracked and form parent rocks. Children, now the next topic is components of soil. In this topic, we will study the composition of soil. Soil is made up of different sized rock particles. These different sized rock particles influences the properties of soil. Depending on their size, the rock particles are divided into 4 groups. So let's study them one by one. The first particle is clay. I hope you all have seen clay. Clay consists of the smallest rock particles. Please mind it. The clay particles are the smallest particles. These particles are packed tightly together, as a result of which very little air is present in the clay. Now children, this is obvious as the particles of the clay are very small. So see, when they stick together, the space between them is very less, due to which very little air is present in the clay. Water is held in the tiny gaps between the particles. So the water will get accumulated here in the gap available here in between the particles of clay. So dear children, we can conclude that the clay is made up of the smallest rock particles, first thing. Second, the particles are tightly packed. As a result of it, there is very little air present in the clay, and the water get held up in these tiny gaps present between the particles of clay. Children, the next component is the silt. Silt consists of a little bigger rock particles than clay. It is not so smooth. So when you touch or when you take the clay in between your index finger and thumb, and if you rub it, it is more smoother than silt. Next particle is sand. I hope you all are familiar with sand. Here the sand consists of still larger rock particles. Since sand particles are quite large, they are not bound closely together. See children, as consider them as sand particles. Now you can see the space between these particles. As the size of the particle increases, the space between the particle also increases. So as a result of which, there is a lot of empty space between them, which is filled with air. So we can say that sand is well ventilated with air. Moreover, because of the large space between the sand particles, the water gets quickly drained. So the water holding capacity of sand is very poor. Children, let's talk about the next particle, that is gravel. These contain the largest rock particles. So mind it, they are the largest rock particles. So the air present between the particles will be greatest, and the water holding capacity will be almost negligible in gravel. The next component is humus. The organic matter like dead and decaying remains of plants and animals present in the soil is called humus. Before proceeding, let's check the knowledge desk also. The approximate percentage of different component of soil is as follows. So you can see the amount of mineral. The percentage of mineral is 45% in soil. 25% is air, and another 25 is occupied with water, and the remaining 5% is occupied with other things like humus, insects, etc. Children, let's continue with the humus. Again, the organic matter like dead and decaying remains of plants and animals present in the soil is called humus. Now humus is important because it makes the soil fertile. See children, as you know, the humus consists of dead and decaying remains of plants and animal. So we can say that it contains nutrients. That's why it makes the soil fertile, as it contains all the nutrients required by the plants for their proper growth. It also improves the water holding capacity of the soil. See children, now you can appreciate the importance of humus in the soil. If the amount of humus increases in the soil, the water holding capacity of the soil becomes better. Now, humus allows air to enter the pores of the soil. So it makes the soil rich in air also. And children, why this air is important for the roots? Actually, this air prevents the rotting of the roots. Okay. It also provides food to the earthworms, beetles, millipedes, etc. So these are the few insects which reside or which live in soil. So this humus provides food to these insects also. Now children, the next component of the soil is living organism. Many bacteria, insects and worms live in the soil, as you all are aware of it. Bacteria and other microorganisms decompose the organic matter, thus they help in returning nutrients back in the soil. So we can say that these living organisms are also a very important part of the soil. Next component is air. The gaps between the soil particles are filled with air. Soil organisms use air for respiration. So see, all these insects, earthworms, they all use this air which gets trapped in between the particles of soil for respiration. The next component of soil is water. Water is also present in the space between the soil particles. Plants do not grow without water, as you all are aware of it. The presence of water can be shown by the following activity. So see children, what we have to do in this activity is, firstly, aim to show that air contains water. Materials required: a beaker, an iron stand, a burner and a spatula. Procedure: put a spatula full of soil sample in a beaker. Heat the beaker and observe it carefully. So if you take soil in a beaker and heat it, you will see few water droplets getting collected at the corner or at the walls of this beaker. Observation: on heating the beaker containing soil sample, some water droplets get deposited on the inner wall of the beaker. So see children, when we heat the soil and we see the water droplets sticking to the walls of this beaker, it concludes that this air might be containing water which converts into water vapor, which get condensed and stick to the wall of the beaker. Conclusion: the soil sample contains water. Knowledge desk. Earthworms are called friends of farmers. Why? Because they help in improving the fertility of soil. So when an earthworm moves, it turns the soil over and mixes with the soil layers. This allows air into the soil. So the earthworm allows the air to enter the soil by moving inside the soil. Earthworms also drag the leaves down into their burrows, which on rotting add humus to the soil. Their excreta, that is their waste, and eventually their dead body also increase the soil fertility. So we can say that this earthworm spend its life to increase the fertility of the soil. Now children, you can pause the video and you can write these question answers in your notebook, and you all know that at the end of the chapter you will get a PDF file for the question answer. So let's discuss these questions. First question for today is, what is humus? As you all know, the organic matter like dead and decaying remains of plants and animals present in the soil is called humus. Next question is, what is soil profile? Name different horizon of soil. Answer will be a vertical section, that is, a vertical section is a section like this. A vertical section of soil showing its different layers or horizons is called soil profile. And the different horizon of soil are, first one is A horizon, which is also known as topsoil. The second one is B horizon, also known as subsoil. The third one is C horizon or parental rock. Next question is, what are the various components of soil? Answer to this question will be, first clay, second silt, third sand, fourth gravel, fifth humus, sixth living organism, seventh air, eighth water. Children, I hope you have understood the topics very well. We'll meet in the next video with other topics. So keep smiling, stay healthy, stay safe and have a wonderful day.